Sorry about that. Let me go ahead and continue on. So I was stuck in my path to know how God works and become normal to it. And what the encounters I was having with my mother, like the way she disciplined us and the way she taught us, was in the way of God's work and God's hands and what He does, where you have to follow His plan, even though He doesn't tell you why, what, who, when, where, or how. You have to follow His step by step instructions that He gives you without knowing anything and just having faith and trust and believing in Him, or just wholeheartedly doing so without needing that faith and trust and belief inside of Him, which is the point that He's trying to get me to right now. But I had frustration before with how God's will works without me knowing it. And I needed to become normal. I needed it to become normal inside of me. And it did so with the discipline that I received from the because I said so and not knowing why. So that kind of killed a lot of the frustration that I had inside of me. But I was trapped inside of this frustration for the purpose of the healing that's to come after this warfare, which is what I'm going through right now. The healing to come after the warfare, the teaching of His works and His will becoming normal to me without having that argument inside of me, because He knew the anger that I had for my situations and my past experiences. While I was trapped in my path, that's when I began to listen to my angels and spirit guides, as well as the demons that were around me. This is when I began to listen to my thoughts and my emotions and my feelings, and I began to guide myself with this Eight of Swords. It was during my depression season and entering into high school when I was in this Queen of Swords energy, where I was internally numbing myself and suppressing my problems and issues and just tending to my life. That's when I started to listen to what I thought was my intuition, and well, not just what I thought was my intuition, but it birthed me and borned me into listening into my intuition. Hold on, I need to look up 1919 as I'm saying this. This is, it says angel number 1919 may be suggesting that aspects of your life are coming to a close, and or an important phase or cycle is coming to an end, which is me becoming normal to God's work without ever having a thought or knowing how He works or behave. And me being in the cycle of me being frustrated with my past. Trust that this is happening for very karmic reasons, which will become evident in the very near future. And I know that karma is what you produce and what you receive. So trust that this is for my actions to change and what I receive from the world to change as well. And it's for the covenant promise, what I will receive from the world. This is preparing you to begin a wonderful new life and lifestyle that will see all fall into place for you in the most positive ways. These endings are clearing the way for you to fully pursue your life purpose as your soul dictates. Trust that all the information, guidance, and assistance you will need along your path will be supplied by the angels and Yahweh. It says universal energies, but I know it's Yahweh. Or maybe the universal energies, maybe the suns and aspects and things of transitions and stuff of that astrological nature will help and assist as well. And I feel that's going to happen and occur. So the universal energies, Yahweh, the angels, and what Yahshua bestows upon me, if I listen to it, because I know I'm not supposed to be interacting with Him right now, 444, as I'm saying that, mostly because I'm not ready. He's trying to present me in a certain type of way, so that way when I work with Yahshua, it will be a certain type of thing. We also have the angel number 1919 is a message from your angels that a cycle or phase is coming to an end, making way for new to begin. Do not look upon these endings as a loss, but rather as a new beginning, opportunity or adventure. One door is closing behind you as another opens in front of you, and your angels ask that you stay positive and focused as the universe sets you in perfect alignment with your life purpose and soul mission. Thank you. And then I always read the third one as a message from Yahweh. So allow connection and communication with your angels to open you up to new and unexplored knowledge and wisdom and positive ways to uplift and serve humanity. If you have been hearing the call to pursue a heart-based project, spiritually based practice, career, and or profession, angel number 1919 may suggest that now is a most auspicious time to pursue your passion and take action. So this is any idea that I have or knowledge or wisdom that I have to give out to humanity, actually do it. So this is open access for those angel messages to come in and come through. And this is angel number 1919 is a sign for light workers to get to work and shine their lights to illuminate the way for others. So yeah, those angel messages and earth angel things and things of that nature are going to start coming through. All right, so let's go ahead. We got 3 more cards, and then I'm done with my testimony. The power to create my world is also in my hands too. So with the power to create coming from my voice, and with the power to create coming from my hands and me knowing how to use this, I can literally create my world into whatever it is that I wanted to. And this is a gift bestowed on the bloodline to help deal with the demonic battle for what they felt was to come, which is the covenant promise that comes from me. And that solidifies the psychosis in my mind of why this experience was happening to me. But God bestowed those gifts upon us in order for us to create our lives, to kind of battle and deal with the fact that the demons and Satan and the devil and Lucifer are stopping our lives from being created because of the goodness that they feel to come from it. So now that they know it is me, God is saying that they must stop the attack upon my family and the generations before and the generations to come. So that will happen and endure. And I know it's going to be a fight and a struggle because there are some demons that are attached to certain members of my family that won't leave because of all the good that they receive from us being in a poverty state and being sad about our reality. So my life, not only is my life about to change, but the life around me of my family is about to change as well. We got the 10 of Cups in the reverse, backed by the Wild Hunt in the reverse. This is that psychosis. This is that being attacked and not knowing why. I feel like I had that psychosis mostly because I didn't know why it happened to me. It just happened out of nowhere. It just started out of nowhere. And that's because, and I know now that it started because I had that chance to become independent. Like the moment that I looked at my life of what I manifested overall and seeing that I was rich, like I wasn't even rich then, like I didn't have any money. I just seen the path to come from all of my riches and how I was beginning to be independent, and I was working on the covenant as well, but it was all in the design of my own way. Once that happened, boom, they came in and knocked me down. And that was the Be Great Beauty, and that's how it began to transition from Be Great Beauty into Heaven's Garden. So they attacked me, which is what started this, because I was building my life and coming out of poverty and breaking the stronghold that this demons and Satan and the devil and Lucifer had over my family, and breaking that generational curse, which was just a learned behavior that was passed down through generations. talking he say she say, and instilling it inside of their lives because they're sad that it didn't work out for them. I was doing all of that on my own, which goes to show the strength that I had, which goes to show the might that I had, the will that I had to break such strong strongholds over my life without the help of God. I was with the teachings of God and the teachings of the angels, but I did not have his help. I didn't have his hand backing me. And this just showed me that in order for me to break it off of my entire bloodline and entire family, I needed his help. So that's why he allowed for it to happen, because he knew that it would spark inside of me this want for it to happen for all of those around me and not just me. Because if he would have let me go down the path, I wouldn't have prayed or asked for it to happen for my family as well. I would have just been focused on it being me and then it coming from me, which would have had me paying the tax. And it's that energy of like, you can give a man fish or you can teach them how to fish. And this path of life with me being attacked would teach my family how to fish. So he knew that I would want that, so he allowed the attacks to occur for me, which is what this Wild Hunt card is here. And the Ten of Cups is symbolizing the reasons for my unhappiness. Then we got the Two of Cups, which is the separation from love, and this Seven of Swords, which is coming home. But this home is unknown, and it's a fool's journey to come. By being built up, taught, and working with Yahweh, that leaves me wanting to prevent myself from a certain path and step into the Hierophant energy of having laws. And these laws bring about the Ten of Pentacles. Fulfillment in every area of my life, physical fulfillment in every area of my life, with the Nine of Cups backing it as well. That's the energy that I feel from this Ten of Pentacles, is fulfillment, and then I feel self-fulfillment, and then fulfillment in the areas of my life. So we got this Two of Cups here, which is separation from love, separation from connections. I always felt that God wanted me to get rid, like, I feel now that God wants me, I feel that the reason why the connection that I had at the time that the first spiritual attack happened, and why he allowed it to go astray, was because he wasn't the type of person that is meant for me. He wasn't the type of person that was for me, and I wasn't the type of person that truly wanted him. I just wanted the achievements that I had. And even though we had a great, wonderful connection, the reason why they attacked was because they seen how mighty and godly the love was that was coming from this connection, and they kind of overpressured me into it. The demons overpressured me into it in order for me to be upset when it didn't work out, and for me to be sad, and for me to give up on love when it didn't work out. But I never gave up on love at all. I began to chase it after a while, especially with this goose here. So this was like a wild goose chase that led to nowhere, because God wanted me to see why I need to rid that type of energy and that type of person from my life, because they're just not meant for me. And he's opening my eyes now, and I'm opening my eyes now to all of the ways as to why that type of energy is not meant for me. It's because they're tricksters, it's because they're devils, and this was just a union of the devil's soul. This person was not picked by God for me, even though it felt like that. This person was picked by the devil. It was going to be a major lesson, because he is one of those people that I've always had trouble achieving in life. And it's because of, I always thought it was because of my actions and myself. And God used this this relationship that I had to these type of people, in order to reflect back to me myself, in order for me to see my actions, because this is the type of person that activated the thought inside of me that it's not them, it's me as to why they don't want me. So that opened me up to changing the way that I am in love, and opens me up to being on the route to my kingdom spouse. Is that the 10? It's the fucking 10 of Cups. It's the fucking 10 of Cups. Literally, this is being on the route to that kingdom spouse. And it's in the challenge position, which is how it flew out. And it's a spinning challenge inside of me, mostly because my current situations are not reaping what's... My current situations are not reaping what I sow. What I put out is not what I'm giving, and that's because I'm interacting with people who hold the devil's soul. They interact off of their own opinion of what good and bad is, and they are into darker natured things. But I know what is to come, which is this 10 of Pentacles, especially backing this 8 of Wands in the reverse. I know exactly what to come and exactly where it's headed, as I'm on my path of self-fulfillment and fulfillment within inside of love, as it pertains to others, in romance and things of that nature. I know exactly what's to come from me being on my path, so much that I don't need no definition for this card. This card is everything that is to come from me and my ways and my wants and desires to change inside of love, so that way I can achieve that kingdom spouse. You got the 10 of Cups and the 10 of fucking Pentacles. If you can see energy, look how bright this blessing is. It's like this is God's promise, and also it's like I am a sign that God's the struggle of my family and my bloodline is over. And I always felt that, but that's because the demons felt that upon me. This is just the blessing that I'm meant to receive for all of the work that I have done, for myself to change, for my actions to change, for me to be right for my kingdom spouse. Not for me to be right for the people and the type of person that I want to have, but for me to be right for my kingdom spouse. And this is the blessing that's meant to come, because I will be right inside of God's way. That's something that I promise for myself. Not because of what I want to receive, but because I just want to be right for God. There's just something inside of me, instilled inside of me, is this desire and this need and this craving to be right for God. And that's it. In everywhere of my life, in the afterlife, in the before life, in this life, as many lives as I can reach, I just want to be right for God. Whatever way that he change, I'ma change too. If he says no, I'ma say no too. If he says yes, I'ma say yes too. I just want to follow God and be right for God. And that's all I want to do. And it's not because of an effect of anything. It's just what I want to do. I just want to do it because I want to do it. It's the best thing possible. It's the good thing for me. It's the right thing to do, but I just want to do it because I want to do it. It's something about me being good that gives God glory. I want to make him happy, and that's the reason why I want to make him happy. And I know that that comes through me being of his way, because I care so much about his emotions. And that is why I am heavenly blessed, because I care about his emotions. I care about his struggles. Joshua is crying right now through this revelation that he's having. I care about his emotions. I care about his struggle. And then what gets me to cry is that because God is so good and he works on our life even without us knowing, I feel that he should have no struggle. He is the ultimate good person. He is the ultimate good spirit. He is the ultimate good soul. He is everything that is good. So he should have no struggle in life, because when goodness is brought out, goodness should be received as well. So there should be no problem. There should be no adversity. There should be nothing of that nature, because he's just so good. He'll do anything for people, even if they aren't on his side. He's always open to helping people. Even if he turns away from them, he turns back. So that's what it means by you are always forgiven by God. Our God is a forgiving God because he'll always turn back when he turns away. He'll never forget us. He'll never forget his people. He'll never forget Israel. He'll never forget Christians. He'll never forget people of the world. He'll never forget you. And he will always forgive you as long as you are walking the right way for forgiveness to be bestowed and brought upon you. You have to walk the right way, and the right way is literally you. The right way is literally you giving up what it is that you are asking for forgiveness for and never doing it again. Never going back to what you are forgiven for. That's the right way. That's the repentance way. As long as you repent, ask for forgiveness, and repent is to turn your back upon it and never go back to it again. To turn your back upon sin, to turn your back upon breaking the 10 Commandments, and to never, ever, ever go about it again. What do we have? Where am I going? God is telling me to pick up this deck and this deck. And he's telling me this deck first. The Moon card, okay. And then we have the Lovers too as a backing. Oh, the love situation is what I was talking about. So hidden emotions and destroying a type, signified here by this 10 of Swords in the reverse. It's only in the reverse because I'm not done with it yet. But it's like, even though I'm not done destroying this type, it's still starting up as a new type inside of me. So this is not only a 10, this is a 10 and a 1. And it's so funny that I seen those numbers last night. I think it was 21 or 1001 or something like that. 2 and 1 and 10. So even though I'm at the 10, which is ending this stuff inside of me, and I'm still inside of the phase of ending, I'm also beginning something new. And this is showing how mighty I am, because I'm taking on the ending of a whole entire section of my life, of being attracted to a type of person and being built, how I literally was created by the devil to be for a certain type of person. I was particularly curated for a certain type of person to be interested in me, which is a person that followed dark ways and demonic teachings and demonic things. I was built for that type of person, to be that person's main squeeze, to be that person's main person. And that's all I strived for, was to be number one, because I was so inside of the demonic world. Not saying that I was like a high priestess or I was like a sorcerer of any kind. I was just inside of the devil's world. And being inside of the devil's world, I wanted to be the one that was chosen so bad. And that's because the demons pushed that "you are chosen, you are special" thing upon me, in order to try to communicate to me and try to figure out what it is that's going on with God and me, even though he wasn't in my, well, I didn't have him in my life in the way that I have him now. He was unknowingly working for my life. Him through Yahshua was unknowingly working through my life. Because when I turned my back on him, he turned his back on me as well. So through Yahshua, he was still working on my life. And Yahshua was working on my life, and they were both like bestowing blessings and teachings and lessons and making me turn away from certain things and certain people as well. But I was specifically curated for a type of person that was a player. I was specifically curated for a player, to be the player's main one. That's what the devil curated me for. And I'm releasing all of the teachings and internal knowings that I have to be of that type. And seeing as though I wasn't just that type, I was of that type, it became a normal behavior for me to operate off of. So as I'm killing this normal behavior inside of self, because it became my character type, as I'm killing this inside of myself, and Yahshua just told me that's the final thing that needs to be killed in order for him to know me. As I'm killing this inside of of myself. I'm starting this new journey of being right for my specific kingdom spouse. And then I'm also moving on to the next step, which is the 0, which is being in a fool's place and starting to begin, especially confirmed by this 10 of Wands here in the upright, starting to begin to be anew for love to enter into my life. So my angels are like, oh, she's going to go down the path of having a boyfriend. But in reality, I want to wait for my husband. I want to be single, and I want to be celibate mostly. I want to be celibate for my husband. I don't want to have sex. And if I have a boyfriend, I don't want to have sex until that person becomes a boyfriend. But I'm seeing now that's just me trying to achieve a person, me trying to achieve a boyfriend, which is dying down this lust that I have for achievements inside of me. Because I want to be able to achieve and do things. And that's just me in the response that I have to the generational stronghold and curse that was placed upon my family for us to exist inside of poverty and lack. And that was lack in all areas and not just monetarily. Poverty in all areas and not just monetarily. That's specifically what they spoke. They wanted poverty and lack in all areas over my life. So when they did their magic spell upon us and brought about this generational curse, that's what they brought in, was poverty and lack upon my life. And I remember God is telling me now, he remembers it struck my great-great-grandmother and her husband, or whoever it was, because I don't know if they were together or not, winded up cheating. That's the moment that it struck. So they began to feel it 4 generations down. Yeah, 4 generations away, they began to feel my entrance into this bloodline. So I am a mighty person. I am a big, gigantic light that can be felt through multitudes of ages of people. I connect to all people, and that's in the words of our Holy Father, Yahweh. There's some type of situation, if I get a boyfriend, it's coming in to specifically kill my want and desire of that type of energy, especially backed by the Ace of Cups and the Tower here. If I get a boyfriend, it's here to kill this type of energy. And then we have the Temperance as well in the reverse. It's here to kill this type of energy and for me to begin to focus on myself more. So the boyfriends that are to come to me, because God has me destined and waiting for my kingdom spouse. So I will be single and celibate to continue to follow his way. And until he tells me it is the person. And he already told me that in a year, in 1 year, I will bump into this person. But I don't know if it's a boyfriend, or I don't know if it's a boyfriend. So never mind. Never fucking mind. I'm waiting on my husband. I am waiting on my husband. So I will not gain a boyfriend or have a boyfriend until God tells me to make that person my boyfriend. I won't date until God tells me to date. I won't move in the realm of love, nor will I act in sex until God tells me to. Everything is in and of God's way. And even if he doesn't believe me, then I promise and I speak covenant into this, that I will not do anything in the realm of relationship love until you say so. And that's in the area of romantic relationships. And I know that you want to put it on friends too, in order to break me of something and to guide me in the right life that's curated for me. So in friends too as well. So right now I don't have any friends. We're starting from scratch and 0. I don't have any friends. I don't have any love interest. And that's how it's going to be until God tells me to. So that was the purpose of that. Going down that love route was literally to bring me to this moment with the Judgment card at the bottom of this deck for the, what cards was it? Look, the 9 of Pentacles in the upright. for the Eight of Wands in the reverse. The reason why I was taken away from that love was to come to this point of waiting until he has the love for me. Now, because I've spoken covenant promise, I have to ensure to God that I won't have any friends because I just don't want to. And I honestly don't. I don't want to make any more wrongs in my life. And I don't want to disturb or stop your creation of my life either. So I'm holding myself back with this covenant from the realm of friends. And I already don't want to because I don't want to disturb or mess up. Like, I just don't want to fuck up anything. And it's coming from a nice, pleasant place in love, but it's coming from wrong area. Okay, thank you. It's coming from this good place in my heart, from in the realm of friendship, from me wanting to be a person. It's coming from that idea of I want to be right for God and I want to be good for God because I care about his emotions and I care about how he feels and the interactions he has with other people and the care that he has for other people. Oh Lord, the care that he has for other people. It's just so much. Like, it's so many people in the world. They got it pointed at like 9 billion people, but that's based off of census, right? And everybody doesn't do census correctly. So I know it's more than that. It got to be at least 10, maybe like 13, 14, 15, 16. One of them. It's like 16 billion people in the world. And God keeps showing me the number 16.8 billion. 16.8 billion is a lot of motherfucking people because you got to include the tribes in the world. You got to include the non-census areas that they go about, which is like the rural areas. And then you got to include the people that have other people in their house that don't want to report it to the government. So it's possible for it to be about 16.8 billion people in the world. 16.8 billion people that he cares for. Well, sorry, it's 10.5 billion people that he cares for. So it's only 6 billion people that he has turned his back on. But he still cares for them through Yahshua. And then there's another 8 billion people that he wants to turn his back on that's following the way of the new age people and stuff. It's about 8 billion people inside of there, and they're all kids, so you know that they're just all hurt. You can see that they're just all hurt and wanting love and pain and to be accepted for their differences. They're all the black sheep. So he's, through me, he's seeing and having care for them as well. So 16.8 billion people in the world, roughly, because you know people are born every day and people die every day, but 16.8 billion people that he cares for, and they're not interacting with him, not talking to him, not not being for him, not walking in his way, not listening to the boundaries that he has, the way that he works, and everything that he laid out to know exactly how to be accepted and how to work and how to have a good and blessed life on this earth that we exist in. And he still cares enough to do good for you. Not okay, not fine, not like, he still cares to do good for you. He still cares to do good for you. And then he loves. And then it's not selfishness. And then he loves. And then not only does he love, it's like he loves, he cares. He loves, he cares, and he wants us all to have peace and heaven and blessings and happy, like his desires inside of our life, for our lives. It's just this feeling inside of me of like, and it's just this feeling inside of me of like, I don't know, because the tears of joy that I have for him makes me cry for the relationship that I have for people. And it's not because they don't know, it's because they don't have him in there. Like it's empty there for them. It's empty, the person that they can rely on, the person that they can support. And like he's being that for them, and he's there for them, and he still sees them and interacts with them, but they don't have it. They're empty. They can't see it. Like they don't know. And that just makes me cry and care even more and even more and even more and even more, because of because they just don't have it. And it's needed to be obtained in order for that fulfillment, because I care about humanity and humans and people so much. I have a big heart, and I like a big heart that God is telling me it's a Yahshua sized heart. And I have this heart, and it's sensitive to lack in people's life, poverty in people's life, wherever it exists at. And it's sensitive to the people who do not have, because this is what God created of me for the covenant promise. For when he thought me into existence, he knew that this would come. So he created me to have this very big Yahshua sensitive sized heart, to be literally a sister to Christ in Christ, a sister, like a sister to Christ in Christ. I'm literally built to be in Christ, and it's just like a sister to him, like if I was a sister to him or something like that. And it's so funny that God is saying the whole, and I felt this before, like the whole twin flame rumor was started because of this feeling that they had that something was coming to this world. And what you call it, that's what Lucifer started, was the twin flame stuff, when it's really just kingdom spouse, like your specific partner that God created you for exist on this earth, or wherever they exist at. You know, the love that God matches you for, that's the twin flame journey. You feel me? But other than that, the whole entire twin flame journey is false, because you creating yourself and activating yourself does not make anybody else in the world change. It won't. You doing for yourself and acting on yourself and working for yourself just will not make anything change about other people. But it is a good tool to use in order for you to help change yourself by seeing your actions with other people. It's a good tool for you to use for God to have people look at themselves. So it's a good mirror. That's why God allows it to be. But other than that, he would have shut that shit down a long time ago. Especially when it first started. But it was needed for the covenant promise. It's like so many things, and I channeled this a long time ago. So many things were needed for God's promise to happen. But anyways, I was talking about God and how much I care for him, because it's just so many people in the world, and the fact that he has to care. And I know that he is all powerful and all knowing and all big and in and of everything. So it's possible. But that doesn't mean that it should be normal for him to care for people who do not be with him. And that was a channeling. But it just doesn't mean that it should be normal for a struggle to come in. It shouldn't be normal for him to struggle, which is why I care so much. Because he's able to, like, he created all people, you know? And because he's able to care for all people, just doesn't mean that he should struggle for it. So they're like, Monique, come on, let's continue on. So anyways, we got the Ten of Swords for this Two of Cups. And the reason why the separation of the person that I was interested in happened at the time of my attack, which brought about this sadness, was for me to literally get rid of this idea of being attracted to the bad boy type. He wants that whole energy to be rid of me, but it was like, it's been 15 going on 16 years that I've been attracted to this type of person. So ever since I was 10, because I'm 26. So ever since I was 16, goddamn. Ever since I was fucking 16, I was attracted to the bad boy type. That's when I started looking at other people for real and started designing. I remember myself designing myself when I was in middle school. So when I was like 12, 11, I started designing myself for a person. And that was based off of my feelings inside of what I felt I needed of a person. And then my ideas and thoughts of what was good for me to receive from a person. And I just wanted to be the popular cool person in reality and society. So I wanted all of the things of that world and nature. And the current popular cool person is one that is like a thug and a drug dealer's girlfriend, and, you know, the special type of people, the hard workers of the environment and things of that. So then when I got older and I stepped into the spirituality path, I switched from, because the type of person that I really want inside of me is someone who works hard, who is motivated, who is activity type oriented, who is a good person to help with the covenant promise that I have. And that's what God created out of me for this covenant promise. So I have and I will obtain someone who is of that, and they will be my spouse. But then it's like, what type of spouse, God? Because I know that you don't be revealing your whole plan. And I do not want to go through anything again that is just not it. I don't want nothing. And that's because of the spiritual warfare journey. I don't want nothing that is not it. And that's what allowed me to completely surrender to God. So if it wasn't for the separation from the love and the foolishness that I encountered with all of the people that I did foolish and crazy things with, and you know, interacting with them, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be at this humble place of like, I don't want anything but what is it for you. And then God is pretty much saying you want what is it for the person, for the promise as well. Because he just revealed to me that when I say for life is only tending to your garden, for me specifically, life is only tending to heaven's garden. This is all that I'm here to work for. This is all that I'm meant for in this life, is working on heaven's garden. And then he wants me to do it in the afterlife as well. So that is another covenant promise that will come when it is time to come. So I already know this though, because he has me working, inspiring the kids on the other side in the afterlife. And it's so cute and so funny. Like, I'll be in the afterlife and I'll be flying around or whatever. And I know it's the afterlife because I keep encountering dead people. So I'll encounter like people's ancestors and things of that nature, and I'll come around and I'll be flying around or whatever, and I'll just take a person, like if I need God, I'll take a person to God, or I'll call upon the angels, and like the people around me get back inspired again, and they start believing that God is real and angels are real, and they start working and walking his way, especially confirmed by the Chariot card here. But the thing is now, and I knew God was telling me that I have to work in this place, and I knew this because of how I was inspiring other people and just how happy they were to see God. I remember this one time that I was dreaming and I was about to get attacked, and I took the person that was with me because I didn't want them to get attacked either. I took the person that was with me and we both flew to God. And then we entered inside of this like courtroom or whatever the situation may be, and God was there, and they seen him and they was like, "Oh my God, it's God." And they just burst out into this such happiness or whatever. And I was so happy for them that I'm like, I know that I'm working in the afterlife as well to do the same thing and bring people towards God and his way. So that type of covenant is going to be a little bit different, and it's for whenever the time is ready. Also, the most recent dream that I had, there was this inspiration. They're like, y'all, we got time limit. My angels are like, stay on focus, stay on point. So that was for that reason. But that dream was me inspiring people just by me calling on angels, and they were so uninspired because they were like, well, the angels that we usually see are just regular people. They're not like the biblical angels. And that time that I called on the angels and I wanted to go see them, I came outside of the building that I was trapped in, and I went and I flew and I wanted to go see angels, and I'm like, here they come. And then a thrones angel appeared, and that's when the little kid that was playing basketball, he got super excited, and he's like, whoa, oh my God, there's an angel, look. And I'm like, oh my goodness, just spreading this joy around in life is giving me so much happiness. And now I found the joy that I be searching for when I get bored, is to spread God, which is another curation that is instilled in me from Yahweh for the covenant promise. So I'm literally designed and made for the covenant promise, and he's going to continue to work on me to be created for the covenant promise. And this covenant promise is just to bring people to God in its base energy, for me to bring people to themselves and for me to bring people to God. So this is just prophesying in the afterlife, in this life as well. But, prophesying in my own unique way, so that way they know that they are accepted by God through the differences that they are, for God created them to be that way when he thought them into existence, and not the way that they created themselves to be, out of protection and fear and want and desire and need and craving for exception and love and peace and happiness and calm, to get rid of the chaos in their life that is of this world. For them to accept the earth angel that they are, or whatever the case may be. You got the Lovers, the Chariot, and the Page of Pentacles, which flew out with the Six of Wands, which is the challenge in the reverse. This is me thinking that I'll get into heaven with my achievements and me being a good person of society, because she's standing at the doorway like, you ain't coming in this house with that, and this unknown place is heaven. I've just been searching for me to get into heaven. I want to go back home. I know I am an earth angel. I know I am an incarnated angel, and I am an angel that comes from the tier of thrones. And the reason why I knew that was because when I was and God is telling me that those were friends from the other side before I was born, and when I was a little kid in God's presence, I have friends on the other side. And I know this because through my shaman's journey, God placed a bunch of thrones angels around me, and I felt this feeling of like familiar friends, like I knew them, but I just don't know them now, like we just haven't connected in a long time. So I come from the tier of thrones, and then God has this saying of, from thrones I descend, to thrones I will ascend. And that just represents my path of like, I came down here from God's throne. And I remember I was watching or listening to Abraham Hicks, and I was smoking. This is when I started my spiritual path. And I had this vision of an outline that I was directly from the foot, like I sat at the foot of God on his throne. And I got this outline of like there was some stairs to him, and on like the third step where his foot was, that's where I sat, which was on his left hand side. So that represents the will of God that I enact upon, and that represents that I am from the throne's tier, and I will ascend back into that throne's tier by me helping govern God's will upon this earth. And that's this Lover's card and this Chariot card with the Page of Pentacles. And that begins to start when I am successful in changing myself to be the proper way for heaven to, especially confirmed by this Four of Wands in the reverse, backed by this Three of Wands. And the angels are like conflicting over it. They're like, no, she's going this way, she's going to be that way. And they're fighting with demons in themselves too over which way I am going and what I'm going to do. And because I have the mind of a throne's angel, it's just so simple for me to automatically go to the base thought of work with God, work with God, work with God. So this is just confirmed by this Chariot card that I will be working God's governing will inside of this earth through our covenant promise to bring people. And it has to do with exception, that he accepts all people, he loves all people, he cares for all people, he cherishes and adorns all people, and he wants all people, all types of people. One of the laws that I must follow of this covenant is that I have to accept all converters. So if you convert over to God, I will accept you. If you change your ways in order over for God, I will accept you. Because there's some people in life that I don't accept, that are just too extreme and too much of a non-creation of God, that I kind of reject from myself. But if they convert, then I accept them. Like, I still have my limits, and God created me with limits in order for direction, for me to know which way to go in this life. He didn't create me all limitless. He created me limitedly limitless and limitlessly limited. So that way I'll have my direction in what to go and where to go in life. So we need, where are we at? 2 more cards to come out. Well, 1 more card to come out, and then we're done. 3 of Cups. This is reunion. And I feel like it's just with these two. The Wild Hunt, which is the Tower in the reverse, and then the 6 of Cups. This is reunion with God, Yahshua, and how I am internally. Inside of my internal behavior, I am with God in Yahshua. Inside of the behavior that I want to partake in, I am with God in Yahshua. This is me returning back to my thrones-like angel essence. This is a reunion of old friendships and old kind. And it comes through in my life like a tower moment. It comes through inside of my shaman's journeys. These are the things that activated me into wanting to be the true angel, the true presence of an earth angel, which is what God also wants to design me into for a personality ways. I am the true essence of an earth angel, which is why he won't allow me, because I haven't had even another name to be thought of. He won't allow me, and he doesn't want me to change my name outside of the angel of Yahweh. And no, that's not me saying I am the angel of the Lord. What it is me saying is that I am an angel that brings Yahweh to you and brings you to Yahweh. So that's all that I have for my testimony. I'm an earth angel that had a demonic teaching, a demonic path that I rose up through. I had a bit of spiritual warfare over the releasing of me because I was designed to be in the devil's way and have the devil's soul. And they just knew and they just thought so much internally that in the end of my life, I was going to worship the devil, that I was going to continue to help the devil if I walked down this spirituality path. But little did they know that I was going to be bringing God along the way, which is why he allowed me to endure that attack, because he knows I love to stamp on the devil's head. And then he wants to say, Monique, it is okay for you to respond. Just don't get caught up in the responses. Don't believe them. Don't continue to talk and have conversation. You could still talk back in your snappy, attitudinal ways, but do not get caught up in the conversation, and know they will not end you or destroy you, and know it will not get worse if you do so. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching and supporting. Thank you so much for listening to my testimony. Peace, love, and light, and as always, be great. If you want to book a personal reading with me, or if you want collective tarot readings, check out the links in the description below. Love you guys, and be great.